Hello. Welcome back to the basement. Funny, even though I don't hunt, and I never will, I found a hunting hat. I've got it at the biggest size. I've just got my hair cut, and it fits nicely. So that's the other thing this is good for, even if you're not hunting, is if you are out in the middle of the woods, and it's hunting season, not a bad thing to have this on. Somebody who might hunt might say, oh, look, there's somebody wearing an orange hat. They're probably not a grizzly bear. Oh, hello, Penny. Penny just ran down. Anyway, I will see what to do. It says Ontario moose and deer hunter. Well, I'm not. Anyway, what else did I find? Ooh, looky, looky. It's Mr. Bubble. Hi, Penny. What you doing? Mr. Bubble. Anyway, I got this long ago, and I don't know if you saw the episode where I spoke about having a prescription refilled or filled, and I think indeed this was clinically tested mild. This was a thing where there was somebody who I knew who wanted to have a bubble bath with Mr. Bubble, as well as other activities. And so I said, I will get Mr. Bubble. I will. Anyway, I found it down here. I'm sure it's still fine. I will take it upstairs to the bathroom. And here's something. I found two of these. This is a Toronto Blue Jays 1992 World Series Coca-Cola can. There it is. It's still, oh, maybe I should hold it over here where the light is. It's still full. Now, would it be good to drink? No, not at all. I found another one. I had to take it upstairs because it actually, I don't know how, but anyway, it had leaked. Although you can't see any holes, but certainly the shelf was covered in goo and other things got gooed. So I've been dealing with the goo, the bad, and the ugly, which of course could describe the Blue Jays season this year. Also found a little wee paring knife that also, I don't know what is on it, but it will soak. There it is. Good for cutting apples and things. And as I've been trying to eat more apples, a good time to find. Now, here, things are starting to fall and slide. Hold on there. When I worked at Lawrence Park Collegiate, I put together this kind of somewhat official looking shirt with things, matching things, kind of military looking things. What size is this thing? I can't really see. Anyway, so I found things. Oh, okay, this is more special than I thought. Okay, here on the shirt there's a badge. It's Deputy Sheriff. And for a long time, I had a Lawrence Park pin glued on here. But at some point, something happened, and the glue broke, and it was gone, and I never could find it. So it has, I don't know what all these things are. What's this say? RAF? Anyway, they look kind of, militarily official. And at big events like commencement and things, I would wear it. Oh, what's that? Oh, and of course it also has a pin over here. It's a Harley Davidson pin with, looks like a vintage motorcycle of all things on it. Anyway, I don't think, sadly, that I would fit this shirt anymore. But I didn't realize until just the second that the sheriff's badge, which I've been hunting for, was on there. So I will take that upstairs and hang it. Perhaps I will look for a bigger version at some point and recreate it. And who knows, maybe I'll Somewhere I bet you I can find an LP pin. Hi, Penny. Where'd you go? I bet you. Okay, so what else have I found? I don't know if I ever showed you this. There. Now, I don't believe it's Jason, but it's creepy. Maybe it's Jason. I don't know. Anyway, and sadly, of course, I mean, these masks are no longer used in the NHL, and the NHL season just came to an end. Sadly, not the way most people in Canada would have wanted. Oh well. Just like Leaf fans have got to know and got to say forever, there's always next year. Maybe this is, maybe this is a Jason thing. It's actually got a little bit of a break in it. Anyway. Creepy, creepy. Anyway, I will sort out things for that. Right now here, I found over there, at times in the past, I would enter pictures into competition. I've not done it for a while, but I would go to Costco because they printed things large and it was reasonably priced. Here is a picture of, yes, a CN freight train. Actually, there's two of them in there, in their fancy-dancy cardboard and everything. I would have entered them into a competition, probably the Markham Fair and other things, other competitions and things, and usually I did pretty well. I did. Anyway, I found this and I said, ooh, look at that. So maybe in my collection of frames and things and stuff, I'll look and see if I can find something that would fit. And maybe I'll put it up somewhere. I was very pleased with this shot. I actually, when I took it, I had stopped. I was in my old Pontiac Presana station wagon, and I realized, oh, there's a train coming. And but when I saw, and I didn't know from which direction it was coming or anything, but somehow I ended up on the far side of the tracks with the car on the other side, the train going by, and it was a long train, and it was cold. And I was like, yeah, that probably wasn't smart. But the picture was worth the coldness and the agony and the suffering. So I'm going to look for a way, a thing, to put that in a frame. The CN 5717 covered in snow. There was another one behind it. Oh, there was another engine behind it. It's 2554. That is not going to sit there. Not like that. Now here's an interesting thing. It is indeed. Now, is there anything else in here? Ah! Oh dear. Oh, there is. Hang on. I must save. Electronic. There's great irony in this. I must save this picture that just fell on the floor before something happens to it. Because, oh, this. Oh, come on, you. All right. This is a picture of a little dog that long ago, shortly after I came back to Canada, ended up on a trip to Cuba with my mother, and so, oh, wait a second, are there two of them here? Oh, there's two of them. Imagine. Anyway, but there's really only one, but there are two pictures. Anyway, ended up on a trip to Cuba with my mother and sister and her little one who's now like 33, so I guess it was like 32 years ago. Anyway, we came upon this tiny, tiny little puppy. Now, this is not the shot of the tiny, tiny little puppy. This is after it was brought back to Canada. And my mother said she wanted a dog, but it had to go through quarantine. I did all the quarantine. I figured that eventually she would take and, do the dog thing. But the dog stayed forever with me, and I kept asking her, what's the name? What is the dog's name? And she said, I don't know. Anyway, I said, well, something's going to evolve. So the name that evolved was Boobert. And I'm not sure how exactly, but it did. I do remember that trip fondly because there were some European people on the trip, including this delightful young lady who was probably 30 or so, or I'm not sure, who very much enjoyed sunbathing without the benefit of anything on her top. And I would spend many an hour sitting talking to her as she drank in the sun, and I drank in her beauty. Anyway, so I'm going to, it was just my mother's 90th birthday, so I'm going to seek a frame, which I'm sure I have, and I'm going to, and if I'd found this before, I would have given it to her on her 90th birthday, but I had not found this yet. So I'm going to put these back in here, and then, with the bag right way up, turned over, this is a picture. People don't understand when I say, I took a picture of a tire. They're like, oh, you took a picture of a tire. How nice. Anyway, this tire was something on a farm. The farm was abandoned, and I wouldn't say I had to break in to take the picture, but certainly, well, there was no locks, but there was no signs, but I think it was kind of clear that the farm was abandoned, and they probably didn't want people there. But I was driving by, and I saw this tire, and it was a very dry summer, very dry, and I saw this tire, and the picture, I think, is quite perfect, except there is one blade of grass that is out of focus that if I had noticed, I would have yanked it. Anyway, so this is probably an old tractor tire or something, and I did enter this into competitions, and it did do very well. I think I only entered it in black and white. I like the black and white version. And of course, there's a fence, and all the dead and dying grass. And and there's a chain holding the tire to the fence. And I don't know if it was used as like a water thing for animals. I don't know. Also, in the background, there's an old shed and a little bit of a barn. Anyway, I was very pleased with this. This too, I may actually have one of these upstairs already framed, but I will see. Certainly, I'm going to be very careful with them and not hurt them, and see about getting Boobert to my mother. She has lots of things on her walls, and I think we all have a bit too much stuff. Anyway, I also found over in the corner there that I was looking for a ribbon cable, and it has an end kind of that would go over an edge connector, and then it has one that would go over some pins. I think this belongs to an Amiga. I think. So I will take it upstairs, as I do everything, and I will probably take it to the pet room. But one of the things I have found, like the AMD or the whatever things, I suspect that this is part of something that may need to be reunited, or maybe it was an extra, maybe it was a spare. Here, of course, is, what is it? It's a regular sort of power cord, goes on all kinds of things, like a 1541, a PET, and all kinds of things. It's just a standard power cord. This always baffles me when I see people trying to sell a 1541, and they say, power supply missing. And of course, the power supply is built into the 1541, not the 1541 2, but the 1541. And all you need is a power cord to, turn it on, plug it in, or plug it in, turn it on. So anyway, I sometimes write them and say, it's just a standard power cord. It really isn't anything exotic. Some of the people say, oh yeah, really. And some of them are like, oh, I couldn't possibly do anything. I can't test it. I can't do anything. Anyway, so be it. So here is a USB charging cable for something. And I'm not sure. It's not an iPhone. Maybe it's an Android phone. I don't know. Anyway, I will see. I will go through my. Oh, it may be a USB, not USB. Maybe one of those Bluetooth speakers. Anyway, I will check and see if I have anything that it would be handy with. If not, of course, I will. Hello, Penny. I will toss it in a box and send it off somewhere, and they can figure it. But it does look kind of, but it's different. Very strange. Anyway, cable. Now this one, as we're getting into such newspaper things, I forgot to move this. There I am in the Toronto Star some years ago at Earl Haig Secondary School doing my job, building bridges, putting out fires, and of course, if there's no fires, build bridges. So I am going to look for a way to preserve and frame that. Now, let's see. Okay, there's more cool stuff here, but I'm going to move this stuff first. Maybe we'll do that later. Here is a book, Playing the Shots at Both Ends, the story of Ken and Dave Dryden. A little dusty, the jacket's not bad. And for those, hi, Penny. And for those that don't know, it was written with Mary Dryden with Jim Hunt. And for those that don't know, Dave and Ken Dryden were both goaltenders in the NHL. I think Ken Dryden, well, I know Ken Dryden had, he may have had a shorter career, I'm not sure, but certainly he had an illustrious career, winning many Stanley Cups with the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know if his brother ever. I don't think he did, because on the back of this there's a picture. There they are, shaking hands, and Ken is on the Canadiens, and oh dear God. Okay, that didn't sound good. Dear. I don't know if you heard that. Anyway, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this book. And you know what? At this second, I suppose what I should do is go down to the other end here and investigate what just happened. And then I'll record some more. So thanks for coming. Have a lovely, lovely day.